So this is a game that's called Stuck in the Mud, and I'm going to walk you through it right now. So this is mainly, I use this for younger kids. I use this for, up to even U12. But I've even used this for, older kids, high school kids. This is just as a fun activity. And here's the way it works. So I'm going to be the coach, and I'm going to come in over here. Okay. And we're going to start naming these players as well, hopefully. So this will be the red player. So I will kind of tell everyone, I'll bring everyone in. So imagine that all the black players and the red players are in. I will give a penny to the red player, and I will tell him to hold it. And I will say, everyone that does not have a penny, you are going into the area with a ball. Good, so they'll do that. Maybe that'll take a couple of seconds. And then I'll say, well, we're playing Stuck in the Mud. So the player with the penny is the mud monster right over here. And the mud monster's job is to go and tag any player on the field. So Johnny, who's going to be the red player, Johnny, can you go tag someone? So Johnny goes and he tags this player over here. As soon as the mud monster catches you, you are stuck in the mud, and you are stuck in the mud because you're going to put the ball on top of your head. You're going to open your legs and you're going to spread them out. And in order to get the player back in, then I'll ask Eric over here to dribble over with the ball. We'll use the dribble icon right there. And then they are going to pass the ball in between the player who was stuck in the mud's legs, and then that player is now back in the game. And then I'll go, okay, game starts in 3, 2, 1, and game's on. So that was a very quick way to explain it. Now, when I first did this, my explanation wasn't so quick. But as I did it more and more and more and more and more, I was able to shorten it to phrases and really just kind of focus in on the core elements of what I wanted to convey. So that's what I wanted to do. And for that first time the game is going, the players themselves, they are, being chased and all this, and they're experiencing it for the first time. So when you're experiencing it for the first time, there's no tactics. There's no, it's really tough to kind of see that because you're just kind of getting into the game. Now, one of the things that you start to notice the more you do it is the more detail in the game. So you'll start to kind of notice, after maybe this round, that maybe this player will come out, right? And then this player will become a black player, so they'll switch every round. And you'll start to maybe notice that when, let's say, this is one of my, my better players, he'll start to get everyone faster. And you'll start noticing certain patterns that are created with that. And then the more they'll start going, you'll see that maybe when your other better players are out here, and usually the better players, we'll give him back over here. And when those better players are back, they're usually the ones that really want to participate. So maybe if he gets caught or she gets caught, what you'll notice is that this player will start to yell and say, oh, come help, 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 help. And for that first time that you see that, you'll notice that, okay, well, this game, we can actually work on communication, right? Because there's a lot more success when we communicate. So this is what I'm talking about. The more you do an activity, whatever that activity is, whatever that game is, the more detail you'll start to, look for, because you're not so worried about the rules of the game anymore. I mean, one thing that I didn't mention was what happens when this player goes out of bounds. So for that first time that I ran this game, a player would run out of bounds, and then he would go, oh, coach, what do I do now? Or he would just keep playing. And then eventually what will happen is more players are out of bounds, but they're still going, right? So at that point, you as the coach, you're looking and you're going, well, this isn't going well at all, right? So then you stop and you say, okay, well, guys, next time, just remember that we're going to stay inside the mud pit. right? And the mud pit is marked off by this. If you go outside the mud pit, then you're come back in and you are stuck in the mud with the ball on your head, right? So that first, 5 minutes or 2 minutes, however long that first round takes, you've just wasted as a coach on the rules. So how is it that you can get into the detail? Well, now the second round, right, or the fourth time or the fifth time that you're running it, you don't need to worry about the details because one, the players know what's going on, and two, you as the coach are now able to have your eyes, right, on the details, right? And you're looking at maybe this player, you're maybe looking at this player. Okay, well, are they keeping the ball close to their feet, right? You're seeing that maybe this player will kick the ball away or they'll be running with the ball rather than dribbling. So then you'll go, okay, well, now this is something that I can focus on in this activity. Do we want to keep the ball close at our feet? Do we want to dribble with the ball or do we want to run with the ball? Well, if you want to run with the ball, then what can you do? Well, maybe I can make the area bigger because it's too tight for running with the ball, because they'll just kick it out. So details will start to emerge, right? The more you do this activity. And that's what we're looking for with younger coaches, with newer coaches, is just get comfortable with one. And then once you get comfortable with it, then you'll jump to the other thing. And then what you'll see is then maybe if we go into a regular game, is that, let me just reset, maybe these themes that we worked on today, like, we talked about communication. Well, is communication important in the game? Yeah, and we worked on that today. So maybe now, if, let's say we're playing just a small-sided game of 3v3, or you know what, let's give it a 4v3 so we can grab that diamond shape that we all love, just like that. So let's say now this player has the ball, okay? And, right, the defending team, let's grab, here we go. The defending team will come and pressure the ball, okay? So we'll talk about, as that player comes to pressure the ball, well, what can these two do? Right? And you can ask that question and maybe they won't know. And then you can go, well, remember in Stuck in the Mud when you were in trouble, when your team was in trouble or you were in trouble, what did you do? Well, I yelled, right? I communicated. So then these themes start to come out, right? And you'll start to notice it, right? And then you can say, well, if you have space, right? Do you remember when you had space and Stuck in the Mud? Did you keep that ball close or did you maybe give it a little bit further of a touch to run with the ball, right? So these concepts are starting to come out more and more and more the more detail you go into it. And it's simply you getting better as a coach. The players are getting more out of it because you as a coach is getting more out of it. And it's kind of that relationship that you're building between the game, you, and the player. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you are looking for more, again, you can go into our YouTube page, which is, you can look up my name. You can also go into the Sportspective page, which is also a great resource for coaches. And hopefully this is where you found it as well. Take care and keep coaching.